Yep, yep, yep. You already know who it is, man. It's King Ade with the Wizards Review. And yo, man, I am so frustrated right now. I'm so frustrated right now. You know what I mean? Now, yesterday I was already upset. You know what I'm saying? That they let a big league go and we lost the game. Okay, cool. Whatever. Let's sweep that under the rug. Let's go to Brooklyn. They're in turmoil right now. Let's go to Brooklyn real quick. Let's just get a win and get right back on track. You know what I mean? That's what I anticipated. That's what was supposed to happen tonight. You know what I'm saying? Um, unfortunately, oh, okay. Unfortunately, it didn't go as planned. You know what I mean? Well, it started to look the same way. You know what? The game started to look exactly the same way as it did last night, minus a few players. You know what I mean? We didn't have Bill tonight. He didn't play tonight. And Kuzma got hurt in the middle of the game. You know what I mean? So those were big factors on why we, didn't get it done tonight. I will admit that. But the Nets didn't have KD. The Nets didn't have Kyrie. The Nets didn't have Ben Simmons. So it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. This is a game that we're supposed to win. It's supposed to win handily. Especially after our road trip, we were looking like we've turned a corner. You know what I mean? Yeah, we slipped up yesterday in DC. Okay, fine. But let's go back. Let's get back on the road, get a road win, and then let's right the ship. That's what was supposed to occur tonight. And that's what was going on early in the game. But again, man, this team, the inability to play a full 48 minutes is disgusting. You know what I mean? It's terrible, man. You know what I mean? I get so used to this. They get a big lead, and us Wizards fans know they're gonna blow the lead. Like, how do we always know they're gonna blow the lead? You know what I mean? People joking on Twitter, halfway joking when we're up 20, and they're saying, "Okay, how are the Wizards gonna blow the lead? How are they gonna like?" They were joking, but there's always truth in jest. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, the Wizards showed us how they're gonna blow the lead. You know what I mean? Especially in the second half, man. Overall, the team froze up. You know what I mean? They just started playing foolish, turning the ball over, taking bad shots, not playing defense, letting players that don't really play or role players get career highs, and I mean crazy career highs. I mean, they let them do whatever. You know what I mean? Just lost focus, unnerved. They unraveled at the wrong time of the game, and we lost the game. We lost the game to the Brooklyn Nets that were in turmoil. I don't know which loss was worse. Was it the loss? I was at the game when we played earlier in the season in DC, and they beat us by like 40 something. You know what I'm saying? Now, KD was on the floor, and he was just doing too much. That was the game where KD crossed Gafford up, had Gafford on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Then he hit the J. I was right there, and it looked crazy. So I don't know, would I rather lose like that, or would I rather lose like they did tonight? You know what I'm saying? Because both are painful. But I think tonight's loss might be worse because, well, I don't know, man. You tell me. You tell me which loss was worse because I don't know. I don't know which loss was worse because tonight's loss was hurt. Like, it took me a minute to get even in front of this camera. I had to get myself together. I was so frustrated, so heated. I am so frustrated, so heated, that it took me a little longer than usual to get it together in order to even be able to do this show. You know what I mean? So I'm upset right now. I'm very upset. And again, tonight, the same thing that happened last night, man. My list, I have more things that I liked than I disliked. But we lost the game. So since we lost the game, I'm going to start with the things that I like. You know what I mean? Off jump, man, I thought that, we came with a renewed focus to start the game. We were moving the ball well, pushed the pace, the things that the Wizards have to do in order to be successful. And they were doing those things early in the game. You know what I mean? Pushing the pace, good ball movement, taking good shots. Porzingis had a big night tonight. He started the game fast, and he played very well throughout the game for the most part. He did foul out, which I didn't like. You know what I'm saying? But I did like the fact that he was hitting threes. He ended up shooting 4 for 5 from the three-point line. You know what I mean? So he was hot from the three-point line. He was 11 for 20 from the floor. So he shot 55% from the floor tonight. Very good percentage from the floor. And he was 12 for 13 from the free throw line. You know what I mean? He ended up with 38 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks. But he had 5 turnovers and he fouled out. You know what I mean? So definitely didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? Definitely didn't like that. He had 14 points in the first quarter alone. He ended the first half with 20 points. He ended the game with 38 points. So he was on par to go for 40 tonight if he didn't foul out. He would have definitely scored 40. And what I also liked was the fact that the Wizards, when Kuzma got hurt and Porzingis was the only player of the top 3 players on the floor for the rest of the game, they made a conscious effort to go to him, and he was delivering. You know what I mean? He was delivering. But he was fouling too much, and he ended up fouling out. And once he fouled, we still could have won the game. So I don't want to say when he fouled out, that's when we lost the game, because we could have still won the game. It was more difficult for us to win the game, but we could have still won the game. You know what I mean? So I thought that he played well overall tonight, but he did turn the ball over a lot. But when you don't have your other, the players to play off, because he's our third option. You know what I'm saying? He can go from second to third option, and sometimes he should be the first option, inside out game. You know what I'm saying? He should be the first option, or at least 1A. You know what I mean? Or 1B. You know what I'm saying? But we should definitely be playing through him in the paint, and then when the defense collapses, he gets the ball to Bill, gets the ball to Kuzma, or any of the other players, and they make something happen. That's how we need to play. And I felt that with the absence of Bill and the absence of Kuzma, it was forced. They had to play like that, and they played good basketball on the offensive end when they played through Porzingis tonight. So I definitely like that. I thought Kispert was hot early. He hit. He was definitely hot early, and then he hit 2 free back-to-back 3-pointers to start the third quarter. You know what I mean? He ended the game with 15 points, 2 rebounds, no assists, nothing else. You know what I mean? 15 points, 2 rebounds, only a -1 on the floor tonight. You know what I mean? So, but overall, you know what I mean? He's beginning to hit his shot more consistently, which I definitely like. He still leaves a lot to be desired on the defensive end. He's never going to be a good defender, but he's definitely a good team defender. You know what I mean? He always makes good plays for the most part. So I thought he played okay tonight. I thought Monte Morris, for the most part, he played a good game. Let's get that out the way. I mean, he had 18 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and he only had 2 turnovers. You know what I mean? So he definitely played a good game. I definitely liked what I saw from him. He was passing, hitting some shots. He was 7 for 14 from the field tonight, 50% from the field, 40% from 3. He did miss 2 crucial free throws at the end of the game, so he was only 2 for 4 from the three-point line. From the free throw line, you know what I mean? So those big free throws that he missed as the point guard when we really needed him to make those free throws was definitely huge. You know what I mean? Those free throws would have tied the game, and we could have went to overtime. So as good as a game he had, when you look at the box score alone, it looked good. You know what I'm saying? But the problem was, it was in the fourth quarter, I felt he took some bad shots. You know, you could look at the box score and say, he shot 50% from the floor. That's good. Yeah. But I always say this, man. Sometimes it's not about how many points or, you know what I mean, how many assists or how many steals or how many turnovers, you know what I mean, just on the whole game. It's when you took the shots. And although he was 7 for 14 from the field tonight, he took bad shots in the fourth quarter when he should have got the ball to Porzingis and then let him make something happen. You know what I mean? I know that, he understood that he had to step up his scoring because our big players were out. So I understand that part. but he got to be the point guard first and foremost. You got to understand what's going on in the game. And you got to understand what the opposing team cannot stop. As the point guard, he was supposed to get the ball to Porzingis instead of taking some of those bad shots in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? So, as overall, I thought he played well tonight. But the fourth quarter, I thought that his basketball IQ was lacking, and those missed free throws definitely were the icing on the cake. That really frustrated me with his game tonight, man. But from a box score perspective, and from an overall first to third quarter perspective, I thought that he played very well. You know what I mean? Denny played a very good game, a good bounce back game for him after having a terrible game last night. He ended the game with 23 points, a +8 on the floor, 23 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals, and he did have 3 turnovers. But he definitely was more of a plus than a minus. But also with Denny, I also felt that he was doing a little bit too much. I think that, you know what I mean, he's getting more attention. I hope he's not reading the press clippings because I thought he was dribbling a little bit too much, turning the ball over. I think he had 2 bad turnovers in the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to do a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like that he's getting more aggressive, but his ball handle ain't like that. He can't feel like he's really like that. But again, some of our big key players were out. So, you know, I got to give him a little slack for that. But at the same time, them playing out of character, I'm talking about Denny as well as Monte Morris doing a little bit more than they usually do, was part of the reason that we lost tonight. You know what I mean? So, very upsetting. But I did think that he played well. He got to the rim. He was hitting shots. He rebounded the ball well. He had 12 points in the first half, and he made some big plays in the third quarter. You know what I'm saying? So I thought Denny played well overall tonight. Kendrick Nunn, he wasn't too much of a factor overall. He only had 5 points, 1 board, 1 assist, 1 steal. You know what I mean? 4 turnovers, though. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, I might have to put him on my dislike list. The only reason I put him on the like list is because of the crazy dunk that he had today. But 4 turnovers? I didn't even realize it. Maybe that's why he didn't get that much playing time tonight. You know what I'm saying? 4 turnovers is unacceptable. You know what I'm saying? You're too new to the squad to be turning the ball over 4 times. You know what I mean? So, although I did like the fact that he dunked on, I forgot who he dunked on, but it was a crazy, I think it was Claxton. You know what I'm saying? It was a crazy dunk, but 4 turnovers, that dunk don't make up for that. You know what I mean? So, I might have to put him on the dislike list, man. You know what I mean? I thought we let Claxton get a little too hot tonight. He ended up with 15 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks, 1 steal, only 1 turnover, a +8 on the floor. Yo, he had a monster game tonight. 7 for 8 from the free throw line, 4 for 8 from the field. You know, yo, he had a monster game. 15 and 13 with 5 assists, did a little bit of everything, and he was blocking shots too. Man, so I didn't like the fact that we let him get off as well as Porzingis played tonight. Again, he only had 5 rebounds. So that's definitely a negative, especially when Nick Claxton, he's much smaller than Porzingis, but he's more bouncy, got more athleticism. For him to have 13 rebounds, 6 offensive rebounds, 7 defensive rebounds, very disappointing, yo. Very disappointing. And that was part of the reason why we lost the game. We went on a 9-0 run in the first quarter. We got a 20-point lead early in the game, similar to yesterday. We ended the first quarter. We scored 44 points in the first quarter. Again, all good signs. Scoring 44 points in the first quarter. They scored 25, so we were up 19 by the end of the first quarter. It looked good. But the rest of the game, second, third, and fourth quarter, they scored more points than we did each quarter after the first quarter. You know what I mean? So we lost the game by 2. We couldn't sustain. We couldn't stay focused. We thought we won the game in the first quarter. It looked like yesterday. It looked like last night, man. Just a different team in a different uniform. You know what I mean? So definitely didn't like that. But, you know, we lost the 20-point lead. Definitely didn't like that. You know what I mean? DeLon Wright again comes in, had a nice steal early in the game. He just does what he does, you know what I'm saying? He ended the game with only one steal, but it was a memorable steal. He ended the game with 4 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, doing a little bit of everything, you know what I mean? Wish he could score a little more consistently, but he's there for defense, you know what I'm saying? And he doesn't try to do too much, so I do appreciate that. But I thought that, especially that crazy steal that he had, was definitely memorable. And I think that he did what he usually does when he gets on the floor, man, you know what I mean? I thought Daniel Gafford played well tonight overall. 10 points, 10 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? Only 1 turnover. He was a minus 10 on the floor, which isn't good, but I'm not going to blame that just on him. So, you know, he double-double. Definitely like seeing that. I already mentioned the 44 points in the first quarter, shooting 62% from the field in the first quarter. We ended the game, though, ending the game shooting 48%. So that just says that the Nets stepped their defense up tremendously, and our offense was not as smooth as it was early in the game. For us to go from 62% shooting in the first quarter and end the game with 48%, again, I already told you guys that we stopped scoring after the second quarter and let the Nets beat us in scoring each quarter after the first quarter. So that coincides with our low field goal percentage, and we ended up shooting under 50% by the time the game was over. You know what I mean? So I definitely loved what we did in the first quarter. Did not like what we did for the rest of the game. We hit threes again. I believe it was early in the game. I mean, we were 13 for 28 from the three-point line. So we shot 46.4%, which isn't a bad percentage. The Nets were 14 for 33 from the three-point line, 42.4%. So we definitely shot it better from a percentage standpoint. They made one more three-point shot than us, but they attempted 5 more. You know what I mean? So I'm not mad at how we shot the three-point shot, but we didn't shoot the free throws well. We missed 9 free throws tonight. 32 for 41 from the free throw line. The Nets were 25 for 28. We lost the game by 2 points. Again, I said it yesterday, man. I'm just hoping that this team could stay above 85% as a team shooting from the free throw line. When we shoot under 80%, I mean, we missed 9 free throws, 78%, lose the game by 2 points. That right there is why we lost the game as well. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say the only reason we lost the game was because we missed free throws, but that was a key reason why we lost the game. You know what I mean? So, again, man, this team got to focus. Got to be more focused, especially when we're doing well. You got to act like we're not doing well when we're doing well. You know what I'm saying? So, again, man, didn't like the fact that we missed free throws, but we did hit threes at a good clip tonight. I also thought Goodwin, he got in tonight and he gave us some good minutes. You know what I'm saying? He ended the game with 8 points, three rebounds, an assist, and a steal. You know what I mean? So definitely gave some quality minutes. Was perfect from the field and perfect from the free throw line. You know what I mean? So definitely like what I saw from him. And we had 6 steals in the first half. You know what I mean? So we definitely was forcing turnovers. Both teams ended the game with 15 turnovers. So we both, 15, we zeroed out, you know what I'm saying? And the turnover statistic. Again, though, although both teams had 15 turnovers apiece, it's about when the turnovers occurred. We forced turnovers early in the game. The Nets forced turnovers late in the game when they needed the turnovers, and that's why they got the win. They were more active on the defensive end than we were when it comes down to it. You know what I mean? So definitely upset about that, and definitely didn't like the fact that we couldn't keep up our defensive intensity as the game wore along. You know what I mean? So anyway, man, that's everything that I liked about tonight's game. It should have been enough for us to get the win, but we didn't get the win, and these are the reasons why we didn't get the win. The things that I disliked about tonight's game. And this is similar to last night's game. I did not start taking notes on the things that I disliked until the second quarter. That's, you know what I mean? Because we played such a good first quarter, but the second quarter you started to see cracks in the foundation, and as the game went on, the cracks became crevices, and then they just burst open, the dam opened, and the floodgates went crazy. You know what I mean? But initially, Royce O'Neal started to get hot in the second quarter. He only ended the game with 10 points, but he had 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 blocks. Did a little bit of everything for them tonight, and was a +5 on the floor tonight. You know what I mean? So he started to get hot in the second quarter, and then Sumner started to get hot. Ended up scoring a career high against us. One of 2 players that had a career high against us tonight, man. Sumner ended the game with 29 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, a block and a steal, +10 on the floor tonight. You know what I'm saying? Running the point guard got them really thinking that they don't need Kyrie Irving the way that he looked against us tonight. You know what I'm saying? So definitely didn't like that at all. Definitely didn't like that at all. For us to let Sumner have a career high scoring, definitely unacceptable, man. I'm definitely unhappy about that. You know what I'm saying? Patty Mills hit some big back-to-back threes in the second half, in the third quarter specifically. He ended the game with 13 points, 3 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? But he was 2 for 5 from the three-point line, 5 for 14. So from a field goal percentage standpoint, he didn't look that good tonight. You know what I'm saying? But he hit big threes. Those 2 big threes that he made were the only threes that he made in the game. But those threes, I feel, shifted the momentum. He was a +12 on the floor tonight. You know what I mean? So as bad as he shot, the three-point shot, he hit the three-point shots when he needed to, and that also helped the momentum turn for the Brooklyn Nets. You know what I mean? So I definitely didn't like that. The Nets went on a 15-1 run. The third quarter is when it started to get tragic. I mean, the second quarter, cracks started to occur. But the Brooklyn Nets only beat us by 1 point. They scored 30 points in the second quarter. We scored 29 points. You know what I'm saying? So, but you started to see the cracks. But in the third quarter, they scored 37 points, and we only scored 26 points. So they scored 11 points in the third quarter. And the third quarter was when really a lot of the things that I didn't like tonight started to occur. One of the things was the 15-1 run that happened that cut the lead to single digits, and that's when the Wizards started to get nervous. That's when us as fans started to get nervous because it just looked like what occurred yesterday. You know what I'm saying? And the team just could not overcome it. You know what I'm saying? Now, they were making shots, keeping the Nets at bay for a bit. They were getting the ball to Porzingis, and to his credit, he was making big shots, drawing fouls, getting to the line, hitting the majority of his free throws. So Porzingis was doing his part, but he had too many fouls, and he ended up fouling out. You know what I'm saying? But for us to give up a 15-1 run in the third quarter was very disheartening, man. They cut that lead to single digits, and it gave them belief. It gave them hope. It gave them confidence that they were going to come back and win the game, especially for the fact that they saw what happened with us last night, and they also remember what they did to us in D.C. earlier in the season when they beat us by damn near 40 points. Well, no, it was more than 40 points. You know what I mean? So definitely was not happy about that, man. And not to mention, I already mentioned Sumner got a career high, which was terrible. But we let Cam Thomas go crazy, man. And he went crazy on us tonight. He scored like KD tonight. He had 44 points tonight. 44 points. 44 off the bench, yo. Off the bench. He had 44 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. He did have 4 turnovers, a +6 on the floor, but 16 for 23 from the floor, 4 for 5 from the three-point line, and 8 for 9 from the free throw line. You know what I mean? So I gotta call coaching on this one. If you see a player getting that hot, you gotta get the ball out of his hands. You gotta trap. You gotta double team. You gotta do something. You can't let a superstar player go crazy like that. Let alone a bench player that's only getting the playing time that he got is because the big dogs weren't playing tonight. You know what I mean? So for him to score 44 points, he was unstoppable in the second half, fourth quarter specifically. He ended up scoring 19 points in the fourth quarter. He had 11 straight points in the third quarter that kept the Nets in the game. And he had his career high, you know what I mean? So it's very disappointing in the coaching as well as the defensive effort to let him, out of all players, not saying he's a bad player because he's obviously a good player, but he's not a superstar. You cannot let a non-superstar score 40 points on you. You can't. very disappointing. Very, very disappointing, yo. You know what I mean? And for Coach Unseld to not make the adjustment to run traps at him, to double team him, to get the ball out of his hands, very shameful. Very, very amateurish. Like, you got to know. You got to say, you're coach, you were brought here for defense. So when you see a player like that, the only player on that team, well, Sumner was doing some things too, but you got to stop him. You just do. And he didn't make adjustments in order to stop him. So I'm very disappointed in Coach Unseld's coaching, man. I was very disappointed that we let Cam Thomas do what he did tonight. You know what I mean? Claxton ended up having a double-double by the third quarter. I already told y'all that he had 15, 13 with 5 assists and 3 blocks. He did a little bit of everything for them tonight. You know what I mean? So I definitely didn't like that. And then we just started to turn the ball over terribly in the second half. I already mentioned it. You know what I mean? 6 turnovers in the fourth quarter alone. Plus terrible three-point defense, man. Man, looked like Scott Brooks was coaching the team, especially in the second half. The same things that happened last game happened again tonight. We were not guarding the three-point line, and we got killed for it, and we eventually lost the game. You know what I mean? So that's all I got for y'all tonight, man. Just terrible loss, terrible loss. Just tired of these bad losses, man. I thought that we turned the corner, but obviously we have not turned the corner. I don't care that our top three players were out of the game at big stretches of the game. You know what I'm saying? It's irrelevant. We were up 20. We were up 20, though. We were up 20. 2 games in a row, and we lost them both. This team cannot handle prosperity, and that's something that's a mental thing. That's something mentally that this team is lacking, that needs some type of leadership. Because, another thing, Porzingis, man, I liked what he did tonight, man, but he was the leader out there tonight, man, you know what I'm saying? And I just thought that he was pouting a little bit too much. Well, a lot of bit too much, for real. You know what I'm saying? Just pouting. You got to be you got to be stoic when you're the leader of the team, when the team is in crisis. And we were in crisis tonight because we didn't have Beal or Kuzma. We were leaning on you. And you just, losing composure, getting texts and all that because you're frustrated. We need you to stay focused and be a leader on the floor. Because obviously we were lacking leadership on the floor tonight. You know what I'm saying? And so I definitely didn't like that, and I definitely wanted to mention that. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, man, that's all I got for y'all tonight, man. Very blown, very upset. My head hurts, and I need to get up off of here. You know what I'm saying? So if you enjoyed the content, I would really appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel at the Wizards Review on YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter as well, at Wizards Review. You can follow me, King Ade DMV, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on the Xbox Series X and S on NBA 2K23. You know what I mean? So anyway, man, I'm out, man. Very upset. Not feeling well at all. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, man. Hopefully this team could turn it around. 2 bad losses in a row after a magnificent 6-game winning streak. It seems so long ago. It's what have you done for me lately? And right now, you've caused misery. That's what this team has done for me lately. You know what I mean? They need to get back on it and get their minds right because they played terrible the last 2 games. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, man, that's all I got. Until next time, man, take care. Peace.